Welcome to the Fall 2021 OSSLT Information and Preparation Slideshow. This slideshow contains all of the resources you will need to become familiar with the content and online environment of the OSSLT. This fall, all grade 11s will be writing both sessions A and B of the OSSLT on November 24th and 25th during Block C. Let's have a look at an important list of things to remember for the day of the test. Bring a fully charged Chromebook to school. If your Chromebook is broken in any way, the trackpad, or it's not charging, please see the in-school technician before November 24th. Bring a pen or a pencil. You will be provided with scrap paper for any note-taking you may wish to do. Bring a book or magazine to read in case you're finished the test before others. Bring headphones if you want to use the text-to-speech functions within the test platform. If you do not bring headphones, you will not be allowed to use this feature. You will not be allowed to have your phone at any time during the test. Keep it put away in your backpack until the test session is fully completed by all students. What's in the OSSLT? The OSSLT, of course, is an online assessment that comprises the two sessions A and B. It contains a total of 33 questions. 31 of those questions are multiple choice, including traditional multiple choice questions, but also the newer drag and drop, drop down, and checklist questions. In the news reports section of the OSSLT, there is a short written response of approximately 100 words. In session B, there's an opinion essay of approximately 500 words. Each session is designed to be completed in 60 minutes. 75 minutes will be allotted to complete the minds-on and exploration of the online tools at the beginning of session A and the student questionnaire that comes at the end of session B. What is assessed by the OSSLT? In the reading component of the test, students will use strategies to interact with a variety of selections to construct an understanding of the text by responding to multiple choice questions and one open response question. The open response question is a short written response of approximately 100 words. The reading selections focus on 3 reading skills: understanding explicitly stated information and ideas, understanding implicitly stated information and ideas, and making connections between information and ideas in a reading selection and personal knowledge and experience. In the writing component of the OSSLT, students will respond to multiple choice questions and demonstrate their ability to communicate ideas and information clearly and coherently through one long writing response, the opinion essay. The combination of these written and multiple choice questions focus on 3 writing skills: developing a main idea with sufficient supporting details, organizing information and ideas in a coherent manner, and using writing conventions like spelling, grammar, and punctuation in a manner that does not distract from clear communication. How is a student outcome of successful or not yet successful determined? An individual student report provides the outcome and single literacy score for all students. Individual student results for the fall OSSLT window will be reported by the end of January 2022. An individual student report will be generated for students after the written responses are scored. What does Session A look like? We already talked about how Session A and B will take a total of 75 minutes. This is because there's a minds-on activity at the beginning of Session A and an exploration of the tools. The actual content of the questions and the writing of the OSSLT for Session A should take only 60 minutes. In Session A, you will read a real-life narrative and respond to 7 multiple select reading questions. You will also read an information paragraph and respond to 6 multiple select reading questions. You will also read a news report. This is a reading selection with 5 multiple select reading questions and the short written response. What does Session B look like? In Session B, there's a reading selection, which is a dialogue. You will respond to 5 multiple select reading questions for the dialogue. There are 8 multiple select writing questions, which focus on writing conventions like spelling, punctuation, sentence construction, and usage. The opinion essay is the long written response of the OSSLT. It is a series of paragraphs supporting your opinion about a specific prompt. There will also be a student questionnaire for you to complete at the end of Session B. The following 12 slides will introduce you to the rubric descriptions and specific expectations for the written portions of the OSSLT. Both the news report open response and the opinion essay are scored by teachers that are trained using real student sample responses like the ones you will see in this slideshow. It is recommended that you spend additional time reading through the rubrics and the student sample responses so that you have a clear understanding of the kind of writing that can earn you a high score code. Let's look at the OSSLT rubrics for the news report written response portion of the test. The news report written response includes a score code of I, which is an incomplete, irrelevant, or off-topic response, a score code of 10, which indicates minimal reading comprehension, a score code of 20, which indicates some reading comprehension, and a score code of 30, which indicates considerable reading comprehension. Let's take a moment to look at some score codes and rubrics for the 2 pieces of writing included in the practice test. The writing expectations will be the same when you formally write the OSSLT. The open response question from the news report on the practice test asks you to read a news report and then respond to the following question. Explain why Montreal's approach to graffiti is beneficial. Use specific details from the reading selection to support your answer. Let's look at 2 specific student responses that demonstrate a code 20, which is some reading comprehension, and a code 30, considerable reading comprehension. Lower score codes can be seen in the Google Classroom materials. Here's a code 20. Take a moment to read the student response. This is an authentic student response from a previous OSSLT, and despite the repetition in the first sentence, they do indicate some reading comprehension. This response provides reasons why Montreal's approach to graffiti is beneficial, supported by vague details. The exact nature of the relationship or the agreement is unclear, so this received a code 20. A code 30 is what you should be aiming for. Take a moment to read this student's response. The scorer has noted that the response indicates considerable reading comprehension. You'll notice that it starts off quite clear and strong about the student's opinion. It includes specific supporting details from the reading selection and has a good concluding sentence. It is a well-supported response that received the highest code for the open response. Now let's look at the OSSLT rubric for the opinion essay portion of the test. Keep in mind that the opinion essay receives 2 score codes, one for writing conventions and one for topic development or content. The opinion essay written response rubric for writing conventions includes an I, which is illegible, random characters not written in English, blank, nothing is typed in the text box, and 4 score codes, 10, 20, 30, and 40. Let's have a look at some student responses and see how they scored. Here's a look at the OSSLT rubric for topic development. The opinion essay written response rubric for topic development includes 6 score codes. You should be aiming to receive a code 50 or 60 on this part of the OSSLT. This is all about the content of your response, the clarity of your opinion, and the support you offer. The opinion essay prompt from the practice test asks you to write an essay expressing an opinion on the following topic. Do people depend too much on technology? In your response, be sure to include the following: a clear introduction, supporting body paragraphs, and a conclusion. You need to include relevant reasons, examples, and facts to support your opinion, and a clear explanation of your arguments. A strong response will be close to 500 words. Let's look at some student sample responses, first for writing conventions and then for topic development, so you know what the scorers will be looking for. Here's a code 20 for writing conventions. As you read through it, notice how the reading rhythm is interrupted by incomplete sentences, poor spelling, and errors in usage. They do overall distract from communication, and that's why this student received a code 20. If the scorer is distracted as they read through because of the scale of the errors, you will receive a code 20 or lower. So try to be clear in your answers. Here's a code 40 for writing conventions. Take a moment to read part of the response. You can see, as the scorer did, that the student has control of writing conventions. Although there are errors in spelling and a lack of capitalization, it does not undermine the control of conventions. No one is expecting your responses to be perfect. Let's look at the other rubric for topic development and a code 30. This response, you can see right away, is not adequate in its length. The scorer noted that the response is related to the prompt and expresses a clear opinion. Yes, people depend on technology too much, but there are insufficient and vague supporting details. There is some evidence of organization. Secondly and last, but it's not enough in terms of its content or its arguments or specific supporting details to earn anything more than a code 30. Here's the kind of response that you'll be aiming for. This is a code 50. A clear and consistent opinion is developed in this response. The student says, people do not depend on technology too much, with sufficient supporting details. The internet would be faster than looking in the dictionary, and our phones have special features for emergencies, and without them, you can be in danger. For example, Amber Alerts, weather warnings, and also emergency SOS. The final body paragraph is a bit weaker than the first two in that the example is less specific. Therefore, this response would not be scored a 60. Instead, it would be scored a 50. The organization is logical. The content develops the ideas in the same order as they're set out in the introduction, and the main ideas are summarized in the conclusion. This response is consistent with a rubric code 50. Scorers understand that these responses are first drafts. We keep that in mind when we assign a code. Here's a code 60. You can read this on your own, but it will become obvious to you that this student provides the reader with a clear and consistent opinion. There are sufficient specific supporting details that are thoughtfully chosen, and the organization goes beyond mechanical with a thoughtful progression of ideas. This is a very strong response and was awarded a code 60. The next slide will take you to the EQAO practice test site. Your teacher will give you some time now to go to the practice test and try out some of the online tools you can access during the test. Learn how to navigate through the different test sections and explore the different types of questions you will see on the official OSSLT. The practice test is very similar to the look and feel of the official OSSLT, Becoming familiar with this online test platform will increase your confidence and improve your ability to succeed on November 24th and 25th. You can access the practice test anytime from school or home using this link. After the practice test, you can check out the practice slides included in this presentation. You can even ask for feedback on your written responses. Remember, the news report reading selection includes a Google form quiz with the multiple choice questions and the short writing response. The opinion essay includes a Google form with the long answer. If you fill those in, it will go to Mrs. Brown in the library, and you can go down and see her and ask what code you would likely receive on the OSSLT for one or both of your responses. Thanks a lot, and have a nice time checking out the practice test.